Andrew Tate, the self-identified top G, proves that the Bible is true. Now, in a previous video, I pointed out how Exodus Cry, the anti-human trafficking nonprofit organization, pointed out that something was probably in the pipeline almost 6 months ago with regards to Andrew Tate being involved with some illegal activities per his own admission. But recently, it was the coverage from Bruce Rivers, criminal attorney on YouTube, reacting to statements that Andrew Tate himself made that sounded a lot like self-snitching. And Abba and Preach reacted to transcripts from leaked conversations put out seemingly by the Romanian officials that does not make Tate's fate look good. But the thing that I find most intriguing about these transcripts, and something Preach himself said in the video, is that they prove the Bible to be true. And today, I'm gonna cover just that.
Ruslan.
All right, first, before we get into the Bible, it being true, specifically with this case, I have to play the clip of Abba and Preach reacting to these transcripts that came out. Now, viewer discretion is advised. There might be some profanity, so...
Had your wife.
Explicit, explicit, explicit.
Let's jump into this Abba and Preach clip, and then we'll get into 2 passages of scripture that'll blow your mind about this whole situation, okay? Watch this.
Andrew Tate says, you have to understand once you're mine, you might be mine forever. A woman never leaves her man, and I'll be the last man in your life. What do we do if we fall in love and I kidnap you to bring you to Bucharest? And then the girl replies, I don't think it's kidnapping if I want to come.
That's some spooky foreshadowing, by the way, all right?
First, I have to see in your eyes that you will never be able to live without me, and then I can trust you to show you everything. Bring a ring when you come. This is what the girl said. He says, can you be loving enough to be a wife, to always be on my side wherever I go, to talk to 0 men besides me? You have to move to Romania with me to keep an eye on you. You're mine. Don't ever forget that. And she says,
this is some spooky language, man. You're mine. Like, all this stuff is being foreshadowed in these messages. It's so dark.
can I trust you? He says, yes, you can. We'll meet in Romania, and I want to know you're committed and serious about marriage. Yes, I'm serious. And when she gets there, he's like, well, we're not getting married. I want to turn you into a cam girl. Okay. So they're basically establishing that the way that he's getting these people involved in the whole business is through fraud. And if you remember what the guy said earlier in regards...
And the guy's Bruce Rivers, we did a whole video about this on the Bless God Studios channel. You should go subscribe over there if you're not. We just cracked 60,000 subscribers. On that video, Bruce Rivers goes over exactly the legality of why all of this was legally considered trafficking. Even though there was no one there with weapons holding people hostage, it was still legally defined as trafficking. For those, the definition changed about 10 years ago, what that actually means. Okay, so the Bruce Rivers video, you can go check that for context, okay?
Criteria that need to be met, okay? One of them is fraud. And that's what they're trying to establish with these conversations when they're released. So even though this conversation doesn't seem bad to you, you have to understand by the letter of the law and how they define human trafficking. This is one of those elements that they might incorporate in order to make that charge stick. Basically, he wasn't telling these people, hey, I'm running a can business, come down. He's like, I want to marry you. You're going to fall in love with me. You're going to fall in love with me. He gets them all the way down to Romania inside of his compound. Then he springs it on him with who? His bottom. So Andrew Tate says,
his bottom B. Okay, so let's keep watching.
Stupid, and he's talking to one of the victims. You're not stupid, and you can probably guess how I make so much money. I have to hide what I'm really doing. And the victim says, webcam? And he says, I've been doing this for a long time with a team of girls working on video chat. The company was fake, but this is how I laundered my dirty money.
This is some brutal stuff, man.
For the girls who worked for me, I use
look at Abba's response. I'm sorry, look at Preach's response. Yo, that facial expression saying everything right now.
Other things. To move money or illegal things, documents, and I will never do that with you. Basically telling the girl you're different from the others. I make them do the really illegal stuff. Then, Tate's angels, meaning the bottom, the two women.
So again, for understanding of what a bottom B is, you have to watch the previous video. The bottom B is like your co-founder of this operation. The PIMP operation, the ism, right? But he calls the bottom B's his angels, okay? So this is like cringe on top of cringe.
I mean, that's what they call them, bro. What would you want me to say? This is what it reads.
Charlie's? They don't want to say hoes?
Hey, man, listen. These are the women who work for him. The Ghislaine Maxwells. If you don't make money, we're going to have a problem. Punch yourself in the mouth until I arrive, because then I'll give you another 10, you incurable slacker. And the other girl says, I'll break you when I get there. And the victim says, what did I do? And the bottom is, you have 1 hour and 10 minutes to disappear. And the victim says, but what did I do? You're down 20%, 4 days since you posted. And she says, if Andrew looks to see you, if you posted TikToks, you won't even have time to pack. You're flying off the balcony straight away.
So they were being threatened with DPs if they weren't posting TikToks, okay? Because the TikToks had apparently some form of conversion over to the web business. And so there's now escalated threats of violence. Remember, there's coercion, fraud, there's a specific chain of escalation that happens in these situations. So it appears like the Romanian officials leaked all of this themselves because they are going to really want a conviction in a high-profile case like this.
So what does this conversation really mean? This is where this is important. It might not mean much to y'all because you're like, well, when they're taking this in conjunction with everything else, the fraud element involved, the coercion element, the aspect of like lying about what they're really going to be doing there, the fact that this girl who works for Tate is saying she's going to be punching the girl 10 times when she gets there, that there's these threats of violence, the one saying like, Andrew Tate gets home, you're going to be flying off the balcony. Is that literally? Probably not, but there is some element there of threats of potential violence if you don't do what's needed. When you take that to court, and these are conversations that are happening in private, you understand? They're going to take this into strong consideration when they're making their case. They're like, how do you explain this stuff? Oh, we're just joking. We're not going to actually make her. Well, then why is the victim terrified? Oh, she's just lying. And make. You think that's going to really be a real defense in court?
You know, the thing is, there's some people that
now. So, again, hang tight. We're going to get to two passages, one verse, one passage, actually. And it's going to show how this is all confirmed. And so there's the macro point of this. And then there's the even more specific point of this, which Preach is about to make, of how people even justify this sort of exchange of ideas between people. So listen to what Preach says right here.
Believe that.
Of course.
There's going to be a lot of guys going to be like, yeah, it ain't that bad, it ain't that bad. And you know why? Because they actually talk like that. They talk like that with their girls. The girls, I'm saying guys, but I'm talking, girls do the same shit. Oh my God, I swear, I'm going to punch you in your mouth. And people talk like that on a regular basis. I was astonished at the fact, the language that some people use with their friends or with their loved ones. Yeah, but it's just, I'm just talking. It's just this, it's just that. Whenever you talk to them or whenever you check them, like, yo, listen, you cannot talk to me any kind of way. You can't talk to me about you're going to punch me in my face. You can't tell me that you're going to kick me in my throat. You can't do shit like that. But you know, man, it's just talk. It ain't real.
These people are going to be super motivated to do this.
So he said some people talk like this. Andrew Tate, in his desire to be hyperbolic, told all over himself in multiple videos, they talk like this, right? And check out these two, and there's so many more. I'm just gonna give you the two easiest ones, okay? Proverbs 18:21, death and life are in the power of the tongue, and those who love it will eat its fruit, okay? Death and life are in the power of the tongue. That doesn't mean you could speak things into existence. That does mean that whatever you're speaking is going to come out of the overflow of your heart, as Jesus said, right? Out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaks. Now check out this passage. We probably have all heard this. This is James chapter 3. And check out what this is saying. And the tongue is a fire, a world of iniquity. The tongue is so set among our members that it defiles the whole body, and it sets on fire the course of nature, and it is set on fire by hell. Andrew Tate's mouth, his own mouthpiece that grew him a massive platform, his ability to communicate in an effective way, is the same thing that got him in trouble, right? And the scriptures say that the tongue is set on fire by hell. For every kind of beast and bird, of reptile and creature of the sea is tamed and has been tamed by mankind, but no man can tame the tongue. It is an unruly evil full of deadly poison. With it we bless our God and Father, and with it we curse men who have been made in the similitude of God. So this is now what Preach is getting at here, right? Preach is saying, look, the reason why people are okay with this sort of behavior is because people actually talk this recklessly to their own family and their own loved ones, and sometimes their own spouses. That's why we're so normalized by this sort of stuff, and we could think that someone could just be playing with this, right? With it, we bless our Father. With it, we bless our God and Father, and with it, we curse men who have been made in the similitude of God. Out of the same mouth proceed blessing and cursing. My brethren, these things ought not to be so. Does a spring send forth fresh water and bitter from the same opening? Can a fig tree, my brethren, bear olives, or a grapevine bear figs? Thus no spring yields both salt, water, and fresh. The entire premise of how this man is going down is that with the same tongue some people found inspirational messages, he also used to manipulate, coerce, commit fraud with other people. And that society has gotten so normal that with the same tongue we use to speak awful things over our loved ones, we also say that we love them simultaneously. This entire thing and this entire exchange and the way this is all coming out with the self-snitching, with all the leaks from the authorities, is proving these passages to be true. It's proving how wicked our tongues are when we communicate so flippantly. So those are my thoughts on this. I want to know what you guys think in the comments section. Did this situation just confirm what we already know to be true in these ancient scriptures? Let me know what you guys think, and consider signing up for our Patreon community if you haven't yet, so I don't have to make any more commercials like this one. Hey guys, I'm Ruslan from the future. Christians stopped influencing culture and all got exiled to a tropical island. Help me in the effort to influence culture with contextualizing the gospel through faith-based media, and sign up for our Patreon for only $5 a month and get me out of this place, all right? You get exclusive access to podcasts, daily after-party streams,